Pho is a very special noodle soup from Vietnam. It is known for its fragrant broth and delicious taste. People all over the world love this comforting dish. The soup usually has rice noodles, tender meat, and fresh herbs. Eating pho often feels like a warm hug in a bowl. Many consider it to be Vietnam's national dish. It holds a special place in the hearts of Vietnamese people. Its aroma alone can make you feel hungry and happy. This simple soup has a complex story to tell. The fame of pho has traveled far beyond Vietnam's borders. You can now find pho restaurants in many big cities. From Paris to New York, from Sydney to London, pho is enjoyed. It has become a truly global food. People from different cultures have come to appreciate its unique flavors. The combination of savory broth, soft noodles, and fresh toppings is hard to resist. This widespread love shows how food can connect us all. Pho's international journey is quite remarkable. Pho has a rich and interesting history. It did not just appear overnight. This soup was born from specific historical moments and cultural interactions. Its origins are tied to the early 20th century in northern Vietnam. Many different influences helped shape pho into the dish we know today. Understanding its past helps us appreciate pho even more. The story of pho is a story of adaptation and culinary creativity. It reflects the spirit of the Vietnamese people and their history. This essay will explore the fascinating journey of pho. We will look at its humble beginnings on the streets of northern Vietnam. We will examine how Chinese and French culinary traditions left their mark. We will also see how pho evolved through times of change and war. Finally, we will celebrate its rise to global popularity. Learning about pho is like taking a journey through Vietnamese culture. It is a dish that offers both comfort and a deep connection to history. Pho first appeared in the early part of the 20th century. Most food historians agree on this timing. The exact birthplace of pho is believed to be in northern Vietnam. The areas around Hanoi, the capital city, and Nam Dinh province are often mentioned. This region was the cultural and political heart of Vietnam at the time. Life was changing, and new things were emerging, including new foods. Street food culture was starting to blossom in urban areas. This environment was perfect for the creation of pho. In the early 1900s, northern Vietnam was largely an agricultural society. Most people worked on farms. However, cities like Hanoi were growing. Street vendors played an important role in feeding the city dwellers. Pho likely started as a dish sold by these street vendors. They would carry their kitchens on poles balanced on their shoulders. These sellers would roam the streets offering hot bowls of soup. This made pho accessible to many people, from laborers to office workers. It was a convenient and affordable meal. The earliest versions of pho were probably simpler than what we often see today. The core elements, however, were likely present. These included flat rice noodles called banh pho and a flavorful broth. The meat used might have varied. Some say early pho was made with water buffalo meat. The focus was always on fresh ingredients. Local herbs and spices would have been used to create its distinctive taste. These early cooks laid the foundation for the complex dish we know. There is still some debate about the exact year pho was created. It is also hard to know who the first person to make pho was. These details are lost to history. However, most experts agree on the general time and place of its origin. The stories and legends surrounding pho's birth add to its mystique. What is certain is that pho quickly became popular in northern Vietnam. It was a hearty and satisfying meal. This set the stage for its future evolution and spread. Vietnam has a long history of interaction with China. This interaction has deeply influenced Vietnamese culture, including its food. Chinese immigrants brought many culinary traditions to Vietnam over centuries. The rice noodles used in pho, banh pho, are themselves believed to have Chinese origins. Many noodle dishes in China share similarities with pho. Certain spices commonly used in pho broth, like star anise and cinnamon, are also prominent in Chinese cooking. These ingredients added new layers of flavor. Some food historians suggest that specific Chinese dishes may have inspired pho. For example, a Cantonese dish called Ngao Yuk Phan, which means beef with noodles, shares some characteristics. This dish was popular in southern China. It is possible that Vietnamese cooks adapted elements from such dishes. They might have combined Chinese techniques with local Vietnamese ingredients and preferences. This process of adaptation is common in culinary history. It leads to the creation of unique and exciting new foods. The French colonial period, which lasted from 1887 to 1954, was another major influence. French colonization brought significant changes to Vietnamese society and its cuisine. The French introduced their own food habits and ingredients. This led to a fascinating fusion of Vietnamese, Chinese, and French culinary ideas. French bread, coffee, and dairy products became part of the Vietnamese diet. This period was a time of great culinary experimentation and blending of cultures. French cooking techniques also played a role in shaping pho. The French have a strong tradition of making clear, flavorful broths known as consommes. This appreciation for a well-made broth might have influenced Vietnamese cooks. Additionally, the French introduced different methods of butchering meat, especially beef. They had specific ways of cutting and preparing beef. These techniques could have subtly guided the way beef was used in pho. The combination of these influences made pho truly unique. Before the French arrived, beef was not a common part of the Vietnamese diet. In Vietnam, cattle were primarily used as draft animals. They helped plow rice paddies and transport goods. They were too valuable as work animals to be regularly used for meat. The Vietnamese diet traditionally relied more on pork, chicken, and fish for protein. Beef was eaten only occasionally, perhaps during special feasts or when an animal was too old to work. This made beef a rare commodity for everyday meals. The French colonists, however, had a strong appetite for beef. It was a staple in their own cuisine, and they sought it out in Vietnam. This high demand from the French led to an increase in cattle slaughtering. More cows were butchered to supply the French community and a growing urban market. As a result, beef bones and less tender cuts of beef became more readily available. These parts were often less expensive. This new availability of beef parts opened up new culinary possibilities. Vietnamese cooks are known for their resourcefulness and ability to make delicious food from simple ingredients. They saw an opportunity in these newly available beef bones and cuts. Beef bones, when simmered for a long time, create a rich and deeply flavorful broth. This was a crucial development in the history of pho. It led to the creation of pho bo, or beef pho, which is now the most iconic version of the soup. The use of beef transformed pho into a heartier and more complex dish. The French influence also extended to how the beef itself was prepared and served in pho. For instance, the popular pho thai, which features thinly sliced rare beef cooked by the hot broth, may have been inspired by French dishes like steak tartare or their preference for rare steak. The French mastery of charcuterie and meat preparation likely influenced the careful slicing and presentation of beef in pho. This blend of Vietnamese ingenuity and French culinary preferences created the beloved beef pho we enjoy today. Section 5. A nation divided, a soup transformed. A major turning point in Vietnam's history was the Geneva Accords of 1954. These accords officially ended French colonial rule. However, they also led to the division of Vietnam into two separate states, North Vietnam and South Vietnam. This political division caused a massive migration of people. Hundreds of thousands of northerners, fearing communist rule, moved south. They brought with them their traditions, their culture, and their beloved recipes, including pho. This migration was a pivotal moment for the soup. As pho traveled south with the migrating northerners, it began to change. Southern Vietnamese cuisine has its own distinct characteristics. It often features a wider variety of fresh herbs, and a preference for slightly sweeter and bolder flavors. When pho arrived in Saigon, now Ho Chi Minh City, and other southern cities, it started to adapt to these local tastes. Cooks in the South began to experiment with the traditional northern recipe. Pho in the South became more elaborate and offered more options for customization. The differences between northern pho, pho bac, and southern pho, pho nam, became quite noticeable. Northern-style pho, considered the original, is generally simpler. It focuses on the purity and clarity of the beef broth, the quality of the noodles, and the subtle taste of the meat. Fewer garnishes are typically offered, perhaps just some green onions, cilantro, and a squeeze of lime. Southern-style pho, on the other hand, is known for its abundance of accompanying herbs and garnishes. These include bean sprouts, Thai basil, cilantro, also known as ngo gai, lime wedges, hoisin sauce, and chili sauce, allowing diners to adjust the flavor to their liking. After the Vietnam War concluded in 1975 and the country was reunified, another wave of migration occurred. Many Vietnamese people, particularly from the South, left the country as refugees. They sought new homes in countries around the world, including the United States, Canada, Australia, and France. These Vietnamese expatriates carried their culinary heritage with them. Pho, being a cherished dish, was one of the first things they sought to recreate in their new environments. This diaspora was instrumental in introducing pho to a global audience, marking the beginning of its international journey. Section 6. From street food stall to global sensation. Vietnamese immigrant communities quickly established themselves in their new host countries. In cities across North America, Europe, and Australia, vibrant Vietnamese enclaves emerged. Within these communities, restaurants became important cultural hubs. They served as places where people could gather, speak their language, and enjoy familiar foods. Pho was a staple on the menus of these early Vietnamese restaurants. It offered a comforting taste of home for those who had been displaced. It was a culinary anchor in unfamiliar lands. In the initial years, pho was primarily consumed by Vietnamese immigrants and their families. It was a dish that connected them to their roots and helped preserve their cultural identity. These restaurants provided a sense of community and continuity. For many, a warm bowl of pho was more than just a meal. It was a reminder of their homeland. The aromas and flavors evoked memories of family gatherings and street food stalls in Vietnam. This emotional connection made pho particularly special within the diaspora. Gradually, people from outside the Vietnamese community began to discover pho. Curiosity led them to try this unfamiliar noodle soup. They were often captivated by its unique and complex flavors. The fragrant broth, simmered for hours with spices like star anise, cinnamon, and cardamom, was unlike anything they had tasted before. The combination of tender rice noodles, savory meat, and fresh, vibrant herbs appealed to a wide range of palates. Word of mouth began to spread, and pho started to gain a following among non-Vietnamese diners. By the late 1990s and into the early 2000s, pho had achieved mainstream popularity. It transitioned from being a niche ethnic food to a celebrated culinary icon. Food critics and chefs lauded its sophisticated flavors and comforting qualities. Pho restaurants started appearing in trendy neighborhoods, attracting diverse crowds. It became a fashionable dish, featured in magazines and food blogs. This global recognition cemented pho's status as one of Vietnam's most successful culinary exports. Its journey from humble street food to international star was complete. Section 7. More than just soup. Pho as cultural emblem. Pho is much more than just a delicious and satisfying meal. For Vietnamese people, it is deeply intertwined with their cultural identity. The soup represents a rich culinary heritage that has been passed down through generations. It is a source of national pride, a dish that is uniquely Vietnamese despite its complex history of influences. When Vietnamese people share pho, they are sharing a piece of their culture. The aroma of pho can evoke powerful feelings of nostalgia, connecting them to their homeland, family, and traditions. The story of pho also mirrors the resilience of the Vietnamese people. Vietnam has endured long periods of conflict, colonization, and economic hardship. Throughout these challenging times, pho has not only survived but has also adapted and thrived. It absorbed foreign influences like French beef and Chinese spices, yet it transformed them into something distinctly Vietnamese. This ability to adapt while retaining its core identity is a testament to the strength and ingenuity of Vietnamese culture. Pho's evolution reflects a history of perseverance. Furthermore, pho embodies the importance of family and community in Vietnamese culture. It is often a dish that is enjoyed together, whether at a family meal at home or with friends at a local restaurant. The act of gathering around a table to share bowls of pho fosters a sense of togetherness. In many Vietnamese households, the pho recipe is a cherished family secret, passed down from mother to daughter or father to son. Preparing pho can be a communal activity, with different family members contributing to the process. The meticulous preparation of pho also highlights certain values esteemed in Vietnamese culture. Making a truly excellent pho requires patience and care. The broth must be simmered slowly for many hours to develop its deep, complex flavor. Ingredients must be fresh and of high quality. Attention to detail is crucial, from the way the noodles are cooked to the presentation of the garnishes. These aspects of pho making, patience, dedication to quality, and artistry, are highly regarded in Vietnamese society. Pho is a culinary expression of these cultural virtues. Section 8. The modern pho experience, variations and traditions. Today, pho is enjoyed in a multitude of variations, showcasing its versatility. While traditional beef pho or pho bo and chicken pho or pho ga remain the most popular and widely recognized versions, culinary creativity has led to new interpretations. Vegetarian pho, made with a flavorful vegetable broth and tofu or mushrooms, has become increasingly common to cater to diverse dietary preferences. Some innovative chefs even offer seafood pho or pho with unconventional ingredients, pushing the boundaries while respecting the essence of the dish. This ongoing evolution keeps pho exciting and relevant. Despite these modern adaptations, regional differences in Vietnam continue to define distinct pho experiences. The pho found in Hanoi, its birthplace, generally adheres to a more traditional, simpler style. It emphasizes the purity of the broth and the quality of the meat, with fewer garnishes. In contrast, pho in Ho Chi Minh City and other southern regions tends to be sweeter and more robust, served with a generous platter of fresh herbs, bean sprouts, and sauces for customization. Even within these regions, individual families and street vendors often have their own secret recipes, adding to the rich tapestry of pho. The way pho is eaten also follows certain traditions and rituals that enhance the overall experience. Diners typically add fresh herbs, a squeeze of lime, and perhaps some chili or hoisin sauce to their bowl, tailoring the flavor to their personal preference. Using chopsticks to pick up the noodles and meat, while simultaneously using a spoon for the broth, is a common technique. Many connoisseurs believe in first savoring the aroma of the broth before taking the initial sip. These small customs are part of the pleasure of eating pho, connecting diners to its cultural roots. Ultimately, despite the many variations and regional nuances, the heart of pho remains constant. A well-crafted aromatic broth, tender rice noodles, and high-quality meat or other main ingredients are the hallmarks of a good bowl of pho. This respect for the foundational elements, even amidst innovation, ensures that pho retains its authentic character. It is a dish that successfully bridges the past and the present, offering a taste of Vietnamese tradition to new generations and diverse cultures around the world. This balance of tradition and adaptation defines the modern pho experience. Section 9. Pho's Journey, a Legacy of Flavor and Resilience. The story of pho is truly a remarkable culinary narrative. It began its existence as a modest street food, warming the bellies of workers in early 20th century northern Vietnam. Its development was intricately shaped by significant historical events and rich cultural exchanges. The influences of Chinese culinary practices, particularly in the use of spices and noodles, and French colonial tastes, especially the introduction of beef, were pivotal in its creation. These elements combined to form a soup that was both new and deeply rooted in its environment. The journey of pho across international borders is an inspiring tale of cultural dissemination. Following periods of conflict and change in Vietnam, refugees and immigrants carried their precious culinary heritage to new lands. In unfamiliar surroundings, they established restaurants and shared pho with their new communities. Through their dedication and hard work, they introduced this complex and comforting soup to the world. What was once a local specialty transformed into an internationally beloved dish, a testament to the power of food to transcend boundaries. Pho is far more than just a delicious and aromatic noodle soup. It stands as a powerful symbol of Vietnamese culture and its enduring spirit. The soup embodies the nation's resilience, its ability to adapt to changing circumstances while holding on to its core identity. It represents the importance of tradition, the warmth of family, and the ingenuity of the Vietnamese people. Each bowl of pho carries with it the memories, history, and soul of a nation, making it a profoundly meaningful dish for many. Today, in 2025, pho continues to comfort, nourish, and delight people in every corner of the globe. Its widespread and ever-growing global popularity is a clear indication of its universal appeal and timeless qualities. The rich, savory broth, the tender noodles, the fresh herbs, and the satisfying meat all contribute to an experience that is both simple and profound. Pho's enduring legacy is one of exceptional flavor, comforting warmth, and profound cultural significance. It is a dish that will undoubtedly continue to be cherished and enjoyed for many generations to come.